Hello, everyone, and welcome
Hello,
to Shannon
everyone.
Airport, and welcome to the fact that this is the first time we've ever done a podcast together
On the same camera.
on the same camera in 3D. So, big red heads in the both of us, and the reason we've got big red heads in the both of us is because this is a non-sponsored podcast, but it's one of the ones that we're going to enjoy doing more than most. And it was something that I'm going to pull this smaller closer. But it's one of the ones that we decided we were going to do from a content point of view and just look back at the press conferences that Stephen Gerrard has done. And obviously this one is to do with Norwich press conference. Obviously we're on the way over to the game, so we're excitedly giddy about this game today, or game tomorrow, should I say. But it didn't seem like, Paddy, that Stephen Gerrard was too giddy about the match. Specifically when the first question he was asked about was, what do you make of Jurgen Klopp's new deal? I'm going to let you deal with this one, Paddy, because I've just ranted for the last 25 minutes since we met each other about what the fuck are people asking that question about? But
People ask that question because it's Sky Sports and there's nothing else to talk about. Only Liverpool, Man City, Man United,
that's
Chelsea.
okay. I think that's okay, but I think it's a small bit disrespectful to Jurgen Klopp,
disrespectful.
and I think it's disrespectful to
they
Stephen Gerrard.
they
open it with that
Yeah,
question.
but they opened last week talking about
Man
Liverpool
United.
as well. Liverpool and Man United, 5-0. So it is disrespectful. It's poor. But look, we're here to talk about Aston Villa and our first trip.
Cheers. For years. But yeah, I think there wasn't an awful lot to be garnered from this podcast myself. I like some of the answers Stephen Gerrard gave, and some of the questions he was asked, I think, were they just bounced off him, and the fact that he didn't need to give any concrete answers to. So there isn't a whole pile we could have got out of this one. I think we'll start off with the team sheet and team news, Paddy. Sanson is out again. Courtney House is out again. But Bertrand Traore is back. So I don't know, will we see him? I don't know, do we need to see him? But look, attacking options, I think, are going to be a big thing for tomorrow because I think they're really going to want to put on a show tomorrow. I think the team are going to need to put on a show. We've got the basement club coming in. Call me overly confident, whatever way you want, but fuck, we should be putting on a show tomorrow.
I got an awful slag, and you don't know for being that confident, Neil.
I was confident too. I was more kind of annoyed at the fact that people weren't confident. I think was really my mindset. But look, we could very easily lose this game. I put, in fairness, it was a gentleman to put on Adrian. In fairness, sorry, I'm not calling you out or anything, but I thought it was a nice, interesting one because you put your money where your mouth was. You said it was going to be 2-0 for Norwich. I put 20 quid in it, and if it does come in, that's €520 to the Aston Villa Foundation, because I think some good should come from an Aston Villa loss. And we could very easily lose, and I think that's worth bearing in mind. But I'm confident, and I think that we're going to win this game. And I think that Stephen Gerrard is holding his cards close to his chest because he wants to put on a performance. He was asked about Dean Smith, Paddy, and I thought he was very, very respectful in what he said about him.
Well, he could hardly call him an asshole, could he?
Like, what are you supposed to say in that instance? But I think,
like me saying it about you now, sitting beside you. He's got to stand beside him tomorrow.
Yeah, well, so we might do a podcast at 10 o'clock tonight, and we'll see, and we might get the truth out of that one, Paddy.
But look, he feels the love for Dean Smith. The players would have been very fond of him. Anyone around the training ground would have been very fond of him. You can see Dean Smith is a very personable guy. So I'm sure Gerrard has heard nothing but good things about him, and he was very respectful, and so he should be, and so should all of us be tomorrow. And I think he'll get a rousing reception tomorrow for sure.
Oh, he absolutely should, because let's not forget the fact that Dean Smith didn't want to leave, and that's a big difference. When somebody doesn't want to leave your club, there's a reason they don't want to leave. And look, he was Villa through and through. You cut Dean Smith in the arm tomorrow, he's going to bleed claret and blue, and that's a big difference. It's a big difference. We've had many people who've come along and said that they were claret and blue, but it's the last person that was John Gregory.
Yeah,
and I think. And a roll-on point in the interview today as well, Paddy, was in the press conference when Stephen Gerrard was asked, and I like this answer, but sorry for influencing your answer to this, but he was asked about the fact that you have to get used to maybe not being as good or losing when you're with Aston Villa, because you've come from Rangers, you've come from Liverpool. I thought it was not a disrespectful comment. I thought it was a fucking disrespectful
but look,
question.
That's a journalist to do a job to try and get a rise out of Gerrards. And he handled the question
I
very
thought he
well.
handled it brilliantly. I thought the answer he gave was, I don't want to get used to it. And I thought that was nice. I thought it was good. I thought it was snappy enough to kind of come back to the journalist to say, yeah, you think twice about asking that question again.
Yeah.
You know,
It's stupid. And face it, we get a lot of them when people are, you know, when you talk about Sky Sports talking about Liverpool 2 weeks in a row. A few weeks ago, they were talking about Ukraine and Ukrainian players. There's nothing got to do with it. We want to talk about Aston Villa, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and look, and so did Stephen Gerrard. And it kind of came across that he wanted to talk about Aston Villa, and he did. Now, the next comments were kind of pretty much benign. There wasn't a whole pile of things that you could really garner from the next few comments afterwards in the press conference, but I thought that they were maybe the main points from the press conference. And I thought Stephen Gerrard, look, we're never going to be in a situation where Stephen Gerrard is going to come out of it looking bad. For want of a better, like I like him as a talker. I know people are going to sit there and go, but he consistently says he wants to change it, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. That, look, he's a good deflector, he's a good talker, he's not going to put his foot in his mouth at any stage. And you know, I think that's the bare minimum that you want from a press conference. But when he's been goaded into questions about Liverpool and questions about maybe they essentially said Aston Villa was a step down for him, and I didn't like that. And they said, "Oh, you were one of the greatest players in the world." And what's it like? You know, they were expecting him to. They were trying to goad him into saying something poor about Aston Villa. And look, that's the nature of the beast, I suppose, when it comes to press conferences. But he handled it really, really well, and that can give us confidence going forward, I suppose, with regards to press conferences, because we create our own bad PR on the field, Paddy, at times. We don't need it to come out of press conferences.
Exactly. Yeah. And let's be honest, he's a politician. He's measured. You know, people give out that he says the same thing, but I think individually and collectively, Neil, we can agree that he's the man to lead us forward for now. And,
absolutely.
We've nothing to we've nothing to give out about with him. For now, all I'm concerned about is going out and getting drunk tonight, making sure we get up in time to go and meet all the people we said we meet tomorrow.
It's going to be a good weekend.
And, yeah, and I'm going to make a prediction here now, and it's a bold one. I've got to be in Glasgow at 12 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Overnight bus.
And if we lose to Norwich tomorrow, the production manager here today, Stephen, my son, is he's going to get the overnight bus, and I'm going to walk to Glasgow because that's how sure I am that we're going to win tomorrow.
Well, I think before you made that prediction, we should have got into the point about Nakamba, because he did give Nakamba a rousing Ronan. That's, in fairness, this is true. Ronan is going to join us tomorrow. So Ronan, you're just jealous you're not in the Chan Airport today. But about Nakamba, he spoke well about Nakamba. He spoke well about. Actually, do you know what? It was really, really interesting to hear Stephen Gerrard talk about the defensive midfielder position. It was one that he brought up. He brought it up. Actually, I don't think he was even asked really particularly about it. I think he was asked more about the likes of Buendia and Bailey, but he brought up I could be wrong in that, listening back to it, but he brought up Nakamba, and he brought up the fact that it's a pivotal position. So if I was a betting man, I would probably bet there is going to be more of a defensive midfielder, a change in there tomorrow, and I think we could see Marvis Nakamba start, or maybe Tim. Who knows?
I'm just wondering, did it suddenly become a pivotal position, or why didn't he sign somebody in January?
Paddy, we said this off camera.
It's a can of worms, isn't it?
We said this off camera. You know. That's why I thought we got it out of our system. But yeah, I suppose.
We're not letting away with
I know. He mentioned it in the press conference, and both of us were kind of looking at each other. Why didn't you play one there for so long? But look, I suppose you can only play the hand you're dealt. And now that we have, now that he probably trusts or knows that Tim is up to the game, maybe we might see him a bit more. But obviously, Nakamba being back is a man to come in and fill that spot.
And look, if he doesn't feel Nakamba's up for 90 minutes, I'd say throw Tim in there. Let him start it and have a go at it.
Yeah, and I'm not really involved in that, but yeah, I'm not really involved in that.
Sorry, someone's buying us a point here as we sit.
I think I want to start Nakamba. I want him to get him fit because I think, once again, I'm all of the belief. He mentioned Buendia and he mentioned Bailey as well. I now believe that Bailey is not going to be sold in the summer. I believe that Buendia and Bailey and Tim are going to be here next year. Nakamba most likely will be here next year. But I think he's going to give maybe one wildcard player a start tomorrow that may not play next year. And I think that's a smart move from him as well, to figure out what we have and what we don't have. But I think we definitely will see a defensive midfielder.
So who's the wild card tomorrow? Bertie?
No, I don't think he's going to play Bertie. He can't play Sanson. I think probably the wild card might be, like, in a way it could be Nakamba, but in a way it also could be Bailey. We could be seeing Bailey in there again for the third start in a row, to see if he has the stones for the fight and wants to make a game of it. But his pace could be very, very pivotal against this Norwich team. And who knows? Like, anything could happen tomorrow. Anything. And I'm not saying that from the point of view of trying to abdicate my responsibility of trying to give you a good podcast, but like, the Norwich are such an up and down team, and we're such an up and down team, that anything could happen tomorrow. So I think our attacking talent will far outweigh our defensive talent. I think we should score goals. If we keep a clean sheet, I think we win this game tomorrow. If we don't score goals tomorrow, there might be a very drunken post-match out of the blue podcast from us tomorrow.
You're on your own.
I'm on my own. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll probably be on my own.
Look,
maybe one I might delete later.
We've no team sheet tantrum tomorrow. So
no. Yes.
My tantrum is, we need two strikers tomorrow. That's what I want to see. I want to see Coutinho in behind Ings and Watkins. I think if we do that, we'll destroy them tomorrow.
Here's my tantrum because we disagree. I think we need two 10s in behind the 9 tomorrow, and I think that we will get at least one goal from outside the box tomorrow. Bank it.
Coutinho?
Bank it. Well, he scores goals from outside the box, so why not?
Ramsey? McGinn is G1, isn't he?
Buendia.
If he's playing.
Bailey.
Callum
Chambers. All those great goal scorers we have. All those great goal scorers.
And a lot of them sitting on the bench.
Exactly.
Anyway, there you go.
Exactly. So that's going to do it. This is, what was the score last time we went to Villa Park, Paddy?
Last time we went to Villa Park, we won 4-0.
Yeah, was it Southampton game?
Southampton won 4-0. We got a drunk after show party then as well, didn't we? Walking up the Trinity Road. Yeah, we did.
Was that Southampton?
It was.
Interesting.
That's the last time we was there. It was at Leicester last week and it was near Holland. It was a ball of shite. But we're not expecting that tomorrow.
I can't do every day for you, Paddy. So everybody, thanks so much for listening and for watching. As I say, it's great to be able to do a podcast in 3D with this man. We're probably going to see a couple of more snippets, and we're going to try and take a vlog of our journey of what we can actually show, and maybe pop it up as a standalone YouTube vlog later on in the week. But thanks so much, everybody, for listening and for watching. Hopefully this game goes our way. I suppose all that's really left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
There's my outro.